Alrighty. Well, for those of you on the LPX community, welcome. This is probably the YouTube video that you guys are watching right now, but I just want to welcome you guys to my fourth LPX live podcast. You guys are probably watching the post recording of it, so that's what you guys are going to be viewing here. But I'm going to be starting in a few minutes here, so I'll probably leave the time marker in the description box below. If you guys just go ahead and skip forward to the actual start of the podcast, but if you guys are tuning in, thank you. Well, for those of you on the LPX, we're going to give about like a few minutes here, so this is most likely the YouTube video that you guys are watching right now. But you'll have to tie guys to my fourth LPX. But I just want to give a few minutes for you guys to probably watch and settle in here. So we're just going to go ahead and record some music in the background, and then we'll officially start in here. But I'm going to be starting in a few minutes here, so I'll probably leave a time marker with some description box below. You guys can go ahead and skip forward to the actual start. I gotta get one more thing going, and we'll officially get the recording starting and everything going. For those of you on the LPX, we're going to give about like a few minutes here, so this is most likely the video that you guys are watching right now. So you'll have to tie guys as we go. All right, well, fourth LPX. But I just want to give. Well, it looks like everything's working, so I just wanted to pretty much make sure that everything was coming through. Go ahead and make sure the audio's background, and then we'll officially start here. If someone is in the line, if someone's in the chat room right now, if you can just verify if the audio is coming through clearly, please just comment really quick. Just gotta get one more thing going, and we'll officially get the recording starting in a second. For those of you on the LPX, might be a weird illusion for a second. So this is most likely the video that you guys are watching right now. You'll have to guys. All right, well, fourth LPX. But I just want to give. Well, it looks like everything's working, so I just wanted to pretty much make sure that everything was coming through. Go ahead and make sure the audio's background, and then we'll officially start here. If someone is in the line, if someone's in the chat room right now, if you can just verify if the audio is coming through clearly, please just comment really quick. There we go. I apologize. The audio is probably looping right now. That it should disappear in a few seconds here because I finally muted my YouTube video. So I'm still getting. I know it's my fourth podcast, but I'm still getting used to this program thing. So I apologize if there was a loop in the beginning. All right. Well, for the two people who are watching right now, could you guys just quickly verify if the audio is coming through clearly before I start here? We'll get things going. All right. That should be good. Whew. There we go. Whew. I'll probably actually edit this video or something like that, but all right. Well, the video is slightly delayed, so I'm just waiting for just confirmation that the audio is coming through clearly, and we should be good to go. Hopefully. Well, I mean, from the looks of it, it sounded like the audio is going through fine. So I think we are okay to go ahead and begin the podcast here. So let me just go ahead and start my mic, and we'll get started here officially. Well, good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the LPX Podcast. Today's episode is number 4. Currently, the date is May 22nd, 2015, and this is a continuation of my bi-weekly, not bi-weekly, but my, pretty much every other week, podcast series I plan on doing from now on. So hopefully I'll do it as long as possible for you guys. But thank you for tuning in, whether you're here live on YouTube, listening to the recording via audiocast or SoundCloud or through my website, or just watching the recorded DVR version on my YouTube channel. So just thank you, welcome. I appreciate you even listening to this intro. I guess you guys clicked on the link because you were somewhat interested. But for those of you who actually sit through and actually listen to this entire podcast or participate in the live ones, it's like, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. But quickly, I want to start off. Well, actually, before I start, I was saying some stuff. I just want to go over today. We're going to be quickly going over a couple topics that I've been thinking about the last 2 weeks. Mainly, once again, I am going to be talking about Apple. Not in the terms of I did in the last 2 podcasts, but I'm going to be talking about them a little bit and talk about if they are still the tech kings of this current era. Another topic I'm going to talk about is the Samsung Orbis, the Gear A, the rumors. I did a video on that, but I'm going to just explain myself a little bit further on that. Talk about the current status of Samsung. There have been a lot of articles coming out after their earning report. After they released their sales numbers of the S6, and people are already saying Samsung's going to fail. It's a nuclear explosion ready to happen. I'm going to go ahead and talk about all these articles and just kind of give you guys an overview and give you my impression of it. Another thing I'm going to talk about is the future state of virtual reality, because it seems like a lot of people are thinking that virtual reality is going to go away like 3D movies did. And I'm going to kind of discuss why it won't and why the situation is very different from that. And then that's pretty much it. And then after that, because what I've realized in the last few podcasts, I pretty much ended up becoming a live Q&A for more than half the episode. So that's what's going to be. So for those of you listening to the audio cast, as well as tuning into the recorded version on my YouTube channel, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to reiterate the comments that are happening live on the feed. So whatever questions asked, I'll make sure to restate them live before I answer them for you guys. But I'm going to quickly go over the quick topics, and then obviously for those of you joining in me live, feel free to comment during any of my discussions and the topics I'm talking about. And then when I go ahead and start the Q&A session, let the questions and the discussion begin, because it ends up just me having a conversation with you guys, and that's pretty much why I've dedicated pretty much 2 hours every 2 weeks for you guys during these live podcasts, just because a 10-minute video a day or every other day for me, I know you get me in little quantities, but I know sometimes you guys want to just have a deep discussion about some of the stuff. So this is your opportunity. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our first topic. And I think I'm going to go with, let's take a look here. One other topic I want to talk about is actually, let me go ahead and get rid of, there we go, is the Microsoft Surface Pro 3 or devices like it. And the reason why I bring this up is I read an interesting article that was pretty much buried under the Yahoo Tech and some of the other tech sites that I read occasionally, and I just found this article very interesting because the title was pretty much stating that the Surface Pro was the best tablet/laptop that the individual bought, and I was very intrigued by that, and I decided to read the article. And quickly shout out to the 3 people who've commented so far: Danny Bastings and Ali Omar and Herbert Bamak. Thank you guys for joining in. I think you guys are the first 3. And Nolan LaDuke. Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'll go ahead and answer your guys' question throughout the podcast, so just to be on the lookout for that. But going back to the topic I just started here, the reason why I found the article interesting was because a lot of people gave the Surface tablets essentially a lot of crap, because they were just saying that it was Microsoft's attempt at trying to fight the iPad, and they're trying to not rely on like HP and Dell to sell their laptops anymore. It was pretty much their own way of branding their own product, and apparently it didn't do so well in the beginning. But after reading this article, and I've had some hands-on experience with it too, and I actually liked it. The reason why I never ended up buying one was because I'm a gamer. So for me, it's like I like to have a custom rig desktop and a gaming laptop, which I can use to do a lot more performance-oriented stuff. But after reading the article and really thinking about it, like, this thing actually does everything that you needed to with the functionality of both a tablet and a laptop. And that got me really thinking, because a lot, like when the iPad first came out, it was pretty much like, it was a huge buzz around it. People said it was just a glorified iPad, like an iPod. And a lot of people were saying that it was just a stupid alternative to a laptop and a computer. But eventually coming down the road, I mean, they're still selling them like crazy. And on top of that, now they've released the new MacBook, which pretty much doesn't have anything. It's a $1,500 paperweight. I know that it has some nice programs and does certain things, but when I really thought about it, when I compare the Surface Pro to the new MacBook, you automatically start just comparing apples to apples, and you get a hell of a lot more out of devices like the Surface Pro 3. Because yes, the device is a bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker, but when I really compare it, because Toshiba released something, HP released, also HP and all these other companies released similar devices, and for me, I'm really thinking about it, and like for the price of a new MacBook, $1,500 for that thing, you can get three of these. You can get three of these freaking devices. Because the Surface Pro offers more memory, it's got more power. It might not be as comparable in battery, but it lasts long enough. It's got USB cables. It's got it's the screen. I think it's better, but it just offers more. I mean, you get the full Windows package on the go. I mean, I don't want to linger on this topic too much, but I just it was a topic I just wanted to bring up just because this is when you want to start thinking about whether a company's being innovative or are they that's a very loose term because they can be innovative in different ways. Like you can take an existing design and make it more efficient. You can create an entirely new product. And for me, I thought the Surface Pro was going like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Making it slim, making it more portable, making the processor and the motherboard chips more efficient. That's an A+. You're going the right direction. That's fine. No flack on that. But when you start omitting things that people have gotten used to, like people are going to need it. So you got rid of all the USB plugs. That's fine. What's your alternative? You're going to sell an $80 dongle on top of it so you can just go ahead and keep milking your customers. That's kind of BS. I mean, that really is. You know that people are going to buy. It's pretty much like it's like you sell a car without offering gas, but it's very cheap in my opinion what they did. And that MacBook is not worth $1,500. It really isn't. You get more out of a $400 Surface Pro 3 tablet / laptop than you ever would on the MacBook Pro. But people would buy the MacBook just because, I mean, yes, the OS is different. People like the Mac OS. I understand that. But overall, you're getting less functionality out of that thing compared to a device that is almost less than 3 times the cost. I mean, that's when, and I wish buyers out there these days would just become more smart about that. It's not about the brand. This is not fashion, folks. I mean, yes, for me, if you gotta learn something about me, I am not biased towards any company. I typically, if you look at my past of owning certain devices, I go ahead and I flip back and forth between companies because I follow the ones that either offer innovative products or best value. It's like you're offering me all this greatness but at a cheap price, or you're offering me the best thing that you can on the market. I'm an early adopter as well as a consumer, a cost-friendly consumer. And I mean, that's just one thing I just wish that even Apple users, especially the Apple fanboys and girls, I just wish it's not that give up on Apple, but open your eyes a little bit more to the world. There's other products out there that are sometimes greater than the Apple product, offer better quality, offer more functionality, offer more in general for less than half the cost. And I just wish that people would open their eyes. And that's actually be a segue into my next topic. Before I do, let's quickly welcome Mika and Victor. Welcome to the podcast, guys, as well as Nathan. What's going on? And Nolan, if you could elaborate what Android M is. I actually haven't read up on that. Don't judge me. I know I'm a tech channel, but I'm an everyday consumer. I'm not like the other big guys who are out there who are like 24/7 on the Twitter and everything reading. So if you can just quickly just leave a little comment on what it is, I can give you my thoughts on it. But I want to quickly talk about Samsung right now. So this is going to be sort of backwards because a lot of people think I'm a Samsung fanboy. No, I'm not. And I'm going to tell you guys why. And I'm going to tackle this in both ways. But let me just set up the story for you guys. So a lot of articles have been released in the last few days about how, because Samsung finally released the sales numbers of the recent S6 and the S6 Edge. And obviously they've been a little bit lackluster. They've been slightly behind the S5 sales last year. And all of a sudden, all these companies, like all these tech vlogs and sites and channels are reporting, Business Insider, ZPAX, and CNET, Yahoo, everybody is saying, oh, Samsung is done. They're done. They've messed up with the S6 and now they're paying for it. They pretty much made their own Achilles heel. They're not an innovative company anymore. And they're just ripping them apart, and they're going ahead and praising Apple. Again, I have no doubt in my mind that these are paid articles, because every single article's praised Apple for being the continuous innovative company out there. I'll get to them in a second because that pissed me off. But I'm going to go back to Samsung, and I'm going to pretty much give you guys my opinion from both sides. Once again, I do my best to be unbiased because I probably am sometimes biased, but I do my best to be unbiased. And I'm going to give you guys both sides of pictures. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that Samsung has pretty much, with the recent S6 and now the announcement, not the official announcement, but the speculations of the Gear A/Orbis, pretty much the round smartwatch, that they are no longer innovating anymore and that they're just following the other companies. People are like, and I personally gave it too, like the S6, I don't have it with me because my girlfriend has it, but like the bottom pieces of it, if you look on the edges of the regular S6, it looks sort of like the iPhone 6. There's no doubt. I mean, they look similar. They went with the full glass back like the original Apple iPhone 4 was like, instead of going with a full metal back. I mean, the phone feels great, but there's hints of Apple in it, and people were giving it a lot of crap. And I personally did a little bit, but I decided to look past that and a little bit. But let's get back. I'll get back on topic. But aside from the S6, I thought the S6 Edge, aside from the edge, like on the top and bottom, looking at like the iPhone 6. I thought the S6 Edge looked a lot more. It was a gorgeous looking phone. People are really overlooking that. They came out with probably the best design, in my opinion, one of the better designed phones that have come out in recent years. It's got probably some of the best stats and performance. It's got great functionality in it. It's not a bad phone. It really isn't. People are like, these articles are talking like the phone is a bad phone. What are the negatives of of the new flagship phones? And the big negatives are the fact that they omitted a lot of the functionality that pretty much is what sold them before, like the removable back and removable battery, as well as the SD expansion card slot. Very simple things you can think of, but these little pieces of freedom, essentially in a smartphone device, was a big selling point. It was a selling point for me, for the fact that, like, back when the S3 came out, the Galaxy S3. Oh wait, I could buy a 16 gigabyte phone and throw in a 64 gigabyte SD card that I can buy for like $40. Sold. And that sold for a lot of people. And then on top of that, obviously the openness of the Android market, the OS compared to the iOS, also drew a lot of people. But initially, that drew in a lot of people, and they omitted it, and that pissed off a lot of people. Now, is that going to make or break the phone? It shouldn't. I mean, they probably lost a good handful of sales, but we're not talking like they lost 10 million sales due to it not having a removable back. Like, let's be realistic, folks, because a lot of the people who who have these phones are currently in the middle of a contract and stuff. But let's be realistic out there. Like, yes, Apple pretty much owns more than half the market. So what that pretty much means, let's say if the market's 100 million phones out there, easily 20, 30 million of them are at least 2 generations behind. So when they announce a new version, those people who are 2 generations behind, there's 20 million sales for them right there. That's why they can get it, because, I mean, you got to look at it that way. If you look at it that way, then these sales start to make sense. It's not like people upgrade phones year over year. Yes, I understand there are people who do that, but it's not 50 million, 30 million people doing that. 80 million people, which is Samsung's estimated sales goals. That's not realistic. People are not because let's just look at the United States, 300 million people. 80 million of them aren't going to just drop their phone current year and trade it. Not everyone's rich in this country. So most people are going to wait for the 2-year upgrade. So right now, the majority of people getting the S6 are the people who have the S4 or even the S3 or even like a prepaid like Android Alpha A or something like that. That might be incorrect. But so they're selling to those people right now. And the thing is, Samsung comes out with their new flagship phone at a kind of a weird time period, because they come out in the middle of the spring. And if you think about it, the majority of people who get these phones typically get them around the holidays, if you think about it. So near the fall. And so that's why I think also, like, Apple also sells really well too, is because they released their new phone right when a lot of people's contracts are pretty much coming up. And I mean, I'm even like, me and a lot of my friends are like around November, December period. And so, like, I don't want to linger. Sorry, I know I'm dragging on that point, but that's something that you really should think about when you're looking at these datas. Like, you can't just take them at face value. You really got to understand how the market works. Another thing they talked about was how they lost market share in China immensely because of Apple. And it's not just because of Apple. There are a lot of companies appearing in China right now that are starting to make, number one, exact knockoffs of pretty much their devices, and number two, they're also making competitive devices as well too. So it's not just all copycat devices. They're also, technically they're copycat, but they're also making new phones as well too. So they're making comparable phablet phones and watches to compete with Samsung directly, offering cheaper alternatives. Are they a better phone? That's yet to be seen. I haven't personally tested it, so I don't want to give up an opinion on that. But it's nice to see that. It's pretty much like, I'll compare it to like Toyota. Like Toyota is like Samsung. Samsung's fine. The Toyota is offering good cars and good value, and they enter a market that they've owned for a while. Then here comes along a cheaper alternative. So here's I don't know. Not Scion. What's cheaper than Toyota? Imagine, Fiat. Let's just say it's Fiat comes along. And they started undermining all their sales because they're offering pretty much the same car for cheaper. I know it's a horrible analogy, but you can think of it that way. So it's not like people are going to, like, yes, Toyota lost market share, but it's not like they're not selling cars still. They just lost to a cheaper thing. Sorry for these bad analogies, folks. But I mean, going back and then just going back to the statement of why Samsung's not appearing to be an innovative company anymore. Because another article and rumor speculation, actually, Mr. Leonard actually pointed out, or Mika, Mika just said here, is that there's rumors going around that the Note 5, pretty much Samsung's flagship phablet phone, the Note 5 won't have the S Pen anymore. And it's like, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. And I love how these articles, these notable tech companies, these tech review companies, these channels and these websites are so shameless. Like, they hear something or they make up something too. You got to understand, they may be making up crap in order to just get, like, I look at some of these articles and some of them have 500,000 views, 1 million views, 10 million views because of a rumor. And it's just sad to see that, like, people are just so quick to jump the gun. If you look at all of Samsung's tablets, notes, their phablet phones, what is the key selling point? What sets them apart between every other device out there, and it's the S Pen, and that has been from day one. Look at Microsoft, the thing I just talked about earlier, the Surface Pro 3. What gives it the edge over the other tablets? And it's that pen. That stylus actually has functionality that does really well, and that's something that you cannot overlook when you're looking at these devices. Why the hell would they get rid of it if that was pretty much one of their biggest selling points? I mean, you can question maybe a lot of people didn't use it, so they admitted to save cost, but I don't think that's going to be true. I think they're going to add in more functions, because if you look at it, the past, every single, yeah, exactly, Lewis Carlin, it's no S Pen, that's not a Note, exactly. Like, the whole point of the last, look at every single rendition of the Note ever since it came out in, I believe, 2011. Okay, yes, and Samsung had the first phablet phone back in 2011. Apple finally brings out a larger screen 3 years later. But every version of the Note has always improved upon the functionality of the S Pen. I mean, there's no denying that. They've improved it every single year, added more functionality to it, made it more durable. Just in general, made it more smooth, more responsive. Like the Note 4, I love the S Pen. I use it pretty much 50% of the time. So, I mean, there's that. And quickly, I want to go ahead and address Apple really quick, because a lot of the articles were like, well, now that Apple has released their phablet device, Samsung cannot compete anymore because now Apple offers the most superior phablet phone. I hate these people. I really hate people who say that, just because it's not. All the phablets right now, when you compare it to the Note 4, you can't compare them. And it's because the Note from day one was designed as a phablet phone in mind, as a big phone. It knows it's a big phone, so it adds one-handed functionality. It adds certain functions into the device to make it use easier, to utilize that space, not just make a small screen bigger. That would pretty much essentially what the other devices have done. They just gave you more real estate without actually using the real estate. I mean, that's stupid. I mean, yes, a lot of people will enjoy it, but people are just missing the point. Like, people are saying the iPhone 6 Plus is the most innovative phablet phone ever. No, you guys are, it's, do the research. All right, Samsung has gone through 4 generations, and by the time this fall comes out, 5 generations of these devices. They've had time to refine it, to make it work well. They've put in and omitted stuff that they saw that they didn't need. The pen is not going to be omitted. Why the hell would they do that? Then why would you call it a Note? The whole point of the Note was be like a notepad. All right? And if they don't bring out the Note 5 with the S Pen and certain other things, then I will probably jump ship as well. I am not loyal to Samsung purely. So there's that. Now, am I angry with them going in directions that are out of the norm? Yes. I'm not happy with the fact that they're jumping on the bandwagon of the watches, of the smartwatches. They're pretty much just following the bandwagon of what Motorola started, then LG hopped on, then Huawei, and some of the other companies are jumping on. And so Samsung decided, it's like, oh, I guess Circle devices are popular, so we're going to make one too. I'm a little unhappy about that. It's because aside from the Pebble watch, Samsung was the first major tech firm to bring out the smartwatch, a full working color notification, calls and everything. Like, the first Gear was awesome. I had one. I loved it. I mean, I had some complaints, but a few months down the line, what did Samsung do? They released the 2, and they improved it like it was night and day. And then for me, it was like, all right, it was good, but I want something more towards fitness, and they brought the Gear Fit out, and I love that thing. And the Gear Fit was a beast. I wish I made my channel last year and I started off with my review of the Gear Fit, because that thing was an animal. But they were innovative constantly with each rendition, and with the Gear S, it was like their swan song. It was like the cherry on top. I mean, damn, like, when that came out, I thought that was going to be the pretty much the blockbuster sales, and I think Samsung thought so as well. But what Samsung failed to do, and I think this is pretty much their main reason for not doing well as they hope to, is their piss poor marketing. And that has been my theme and my grudge with Samsung, is that their marketing team, whoever their VP of marketing is, and I think it was that Asian lady that came out during their S6 press conference, you are horrible. You are doing a absolute horrible job. Your watches have been out for 2 years. You had a 2-year advantage on Apple. And then when Apple comes out, that's when people know about smartwatches. So there's something clearly wrong there. And the fact that even the current people who are interested in buying the Samsung Gear S don't know it has a standalone function. The fact that they don't know that. So I'm sorry, I probably dragged on long enough talking about Samsung's woes, but I don't believe they're gonna do bad. They're setting up for the future, because if you really look at their ecosystem, they are creating a bunch, pretty much a device ecosystem. So not only from the phone, but to the watch, to headphones now, so the Gear Circles, which are pretty much very portable, to the Levels, TVs. All of these devices are going to speak to each other soon. You don't make all of these smart devices and not let them work with one another. Like, that is my gut feeling. I feel like they're setting up for the future. And if you look at the S6, aside from the removable back and everything, it is a beast of a phone. And I can only hope that the Note 5 will just take it even further. Everyone, if you can agree with me, 4K resolution, please then now make the Gear VR a lot easier to use. Oh, that's another thing. They're not innovative. They're trying to bring virtual reality to mainstream. They're the first ones to bring any of these prototype things to mass market. They are trying. Apple didn't bring Apple saw what Pebble did. They didn't try to bring the smartwatches out first. No, they waited 2 years. Virtual reality was starting to pick up with Oculus and stuff, and all of a sudden people were getting popular. So Samsung decides to bring out one for the Note 4 by partnering up with Oculus. Apple didn't do anything like that. I mean, Google answered back with a cardboard saying, "Why spend $200? You can buy this cheap little cardboard unit." Apple hasn't done anything. I mean, even the cars, people are like, Apple should make a car. Tesla came out with that years ago. So it's just like, what are they doing? And that's what I'm going to transition into right now, because I don't want to, like, people don't believe everything you read online. Don't. I mean, if you're going to bash a company, at least know what's going on out there. But before I segue into my complaints with Apple again, let's go ahead and read some of the comments here. Let's take a look. Can't wait for the Note 5, S6 or Note 4. Go with the Note 4, Perry. I think everyone else in the comment board is pretty much saying that. Let's see. Louis Carton. Can't wait for the Note 5. It should have the finger sensor like the S6. The Note 4 has the finger sensor. What's wrong with you people? It has it on the bottom. It's there. It has it. Once again, Samsung fails at marketing. Oh, man. Nolan, Android M is the newest version of Android that has been announced at Google I/O. Apparently, it will have more voice controls from what I heard. Again, sorry for the misunderstanding. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people, once again, are giving Samsung crap about trying to build a new operating system, their Tizen. And I actually commend them for doing that, because pretty much Apple's operating system and Android's operating system, they're pretty much matured at this point. I mean, yes, they constantly make upgrades, make it visually more appealing, add certain functionalities here and there, but overall, it's just like a car model. They're just adding more things year over year, but it's like a Camry. It is a staple vehicle that everyone relies on at this point. And Samsung is like they're doing their best to try to create a different user interface. Which way they are taking it, I don't know. the only experience I have with Tizen is through their watches, and so far I like it. It's because they're making simple. They're not trying to make simple gestures and simple functionalities complicated. I think that was my main theme my last podcast 2 weeks ago. You don't make a simple task complicated. Pretty much like what Apple did. If you look at this picture, guys, this picture right here. I mean, look at that. The picture looks big, but try to select one of those apps. There's a little dial for you to zoom in. Why the hell should I have to zoom in and scroll around for my app? I can simply just scroll up and choose the app right there. It's just, why make something complicated? But Nolan, sorry, going back to your point, I think I like the improvements that they made. Yeah, I did know about Android M. Thank you for reminding me, but I did like it. I hope the improvements are actually legitimate. So we'll just have to see when they actually fully implement it, and I personally get to try it out. So for me, I don't like to personally give a full opinion until I try it out for myself, because then it's a more educated response per se. Gaming with Speedy 2, what's up? Mark Stevenson asked, "Hi Andrew, would you buy the Gear Circle still? I'm thinking about getting one." I still have it. Let me grab it here. I still use it. And yes, I would still buy it for $100. I mean, it's a great Bluetooth headset in my opinion. I love the sound quality. I love the portability of it. I love the functionality I get when it connects to both my Note 4 and my Gear S. Once again, the one thing Samsung's doing right, they're creating a complete ecosystem. And since I have all the devices and the fact that they work together, I love it. So I have no complaints with it. And the batteries are freaking beasts. So there you go. And they're comfortable to wear. So I would still buy it. And I don't know if you've seen my review on it. I've done a complete review on it, which I pretty much go over. And I still stand by that review video. Let's take a look here. Perry, I think we already answered your question on, get the Note 4. Everyone agrees, get the Note 4. You're asking S6 or Note 4. Sorry. I retract my statement. If you're going to go with the S6, I say get the S6 Edge. But it depends on what device you're coming from. If you're coming from a similar size phone as the S6, then it may be better just staying on a similar size phone. But when it comes down to it, I always tell everyone they should just upgrade to the phablet. Just because, yes, at first it's going to feel humongous, but you end up loving it. I think everyone who has gotten the Note 4 or previous Note devices have been sold and were stuck on it. So, I would personally say try it out, because you know what? Most carriers actually offer a 1 week, 2 week return policy. Try it out for yourself. Seriously, go out and upgrade to it and own it for a week or two. And I think you'll be sold on it. It feels great. The functionality is great. And the screen is awesome. It really is. And the extra functionality you get through the S Pen and everything. And the system will teach you. There's guides built in the system to teach you. So I think you'll be happy with it. There's that. Louis Carrot. Actually, sorry. Yes, the Gear S is the beast, Louis. It really is. Because, once again, it's the only device with the standalone function. Period. Moving on. It's the only mainstream smartwatch with the standalone function. Alrighty. But let's take a look. People are agreeing with the marketing. Nolan, what do you think Samsung should do with the Gear A/Orbis to make it successful? Well, pretty much during the video I made about the rumors and speculations, although they're copying the circle design, it sounds like they are going in the right direction here. Let me just bring up. I'll skip Apple for now. I'll talk about the Orbis. I was actually going to talk about that, so we'll just segue right into the Gear Orbis. So the Gear A/Gear Orbis, if they want to do it right, they need to make all the rumors true. Period. The fact that if they're not going to go with the chronograph watches like the LGG watch are and the Urbane did, they're going to go with a full screen. I think not wraparound, but like edge to edge round screen, which it's hard to explain, but I think that's what they're going to do. But they're going to add functionality around the bezel. Yes, I know some of the other watches already do that, but just hear me out really quickly. If they make the edges of the screen, let me just point, they make the edges of the screen similar to what they've done with their Edge devices on the S6 Edge and the Note Edge, I think that's going to add an extra level of ease. Just 1 second. So I had to drink some water. It's because for the gear, for all the people who've owned gear devices, from day one, you memorize what you need to do. So you swipe up for apps, swipe right to left to get to widgets, left to right to get to your notifications, top down, and you just learn the habits. But I think the one thing I would like, and I think the watch should offer, is a way to categorize my notifications. Like, I still get them. So let's say I miss them, but when I open up my Gear S and go open up to notifications, I don't know who contacted me. Let's say I'm waiting for a text message from my girlfriend, and I received 50 text messages that day, and I finally get around to looking at my watch because I've been busy, let's say. But I get around to my watch finally to go to it. I would like the same function as the S6 Edge, where let's say it'll glow orange for my girlfriend. On the, like when I wake it up and it turns on, and it'll glow orange, saying, "Hey, you received something from your girlfriend. You should read that message first or call her back." I would love that. Like, for me, I'm focusing on not the apps but the experience. Just enhance the experience even further, and I think you'll do well. But on top of that, like, for me, everything in, I think they're gonna make it right. They're probably gonna make it better than the Gear S, to be honest. It may not look better, but it may work better than the Gear S. But to make it successful, it's what I said earlier. They need to have a proper marketing campaign. They just, period. They actually need to spend some money properly on promoting this thing. Because maybe I don't remember seeing a single commercial for the Gear S. A single commercial. And the only times I've seen the Gear S in commercials is passed by when they're promoting the Note or the S6. Like, you seen the commercial, like, he's got the phone and he checks and they move on. That's the only time you see the Gear S. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. They've done nothing to show it off. So, for me, with the Gear S, they started right. They were promoting it as a great replacement companion device. They were promoting everything they needed to at first, and then they were releasing, we're going to partner with Diesel and Swarovski to bring out like custom bands and everything. It's going to be great, a great accessory. And they stopped marketing, stopped campaigning, stopped bringing out commercials, stopped with the brand deals. They just stopped everything. And they cannot do the same thing again with the Gear A and Orbis. If they want to make it successful, because I think these watches will sell the phones for them. I think it really will. Because a lot of the commenters I've spoken to who've gotten the Gear S, because of some of my videos, they've also in turn purchased the Note 4. It's because they recognized pretty much the ecosystem. Not only the functionality of the phone, but the functionality of the ease of use of having both devices. So, I mean, there's that. So they really need to market it well. But, once again, they have to market and back up what they made. So they gotta make a solid product and then back it up. You can't back up something that's not solid. I mean, you get what I'm saying. So that's my thing. So I'm really hoping. I'm really rooting for them. On top of that, I'm hoping that they're also secretly making a Gear S too. Like, this thing's a beast. They can make it better. It's like RoboCop and RoboCop 2. They can make it better. So, like, the Orbis is like a spin-off movie, and this is like the main sequel. Like, I need a main sequel. So, fingers crossed, guys. Let's look at the comments again. Kim Mi-sung, welcome. What's going on? Annyeong. Nolan, opinions on smart bands. Also, do you know about the Circle cigarette bracelet. Not really. I'm not too familiar with smart bands actually. Are you talking about pretty much like the fitness ones or like the trackers essentially, where it's not quite these, but it's like a bracelet, and it's like a chip inside that communicates your phone? Is that what you're asking about? Danny, besides marketing, they should also work on optimizing the current devices. I've been waiting for over 5 months. Compatibility. Yes, I mean, that's also true too. It's like they've moved beyond their current, like they have great products right now and they could be better. Sorry, and that's from Danny Blasting. Their products right now could be better if they updated them more frequently and expand their compatibility. I cannot agree with you more on that. It's not necessarily like, yes, they should continue to make new products, but they should also continue to support their older products as well, because there are some great products. The fact that they still sell the Gear 2 for $300 says something. So yes, like they should continue to support it because it will sell. Because in my opinion, I think the Gear 2 that came out almost 2 years ago looks better than the Apple Watch. So why not continue to make it better by offering better support? So yes, I cannot agree with you more. And back to Nolan's question. My thing on that is, if you're gonna go that far, it depends on the price too. Let's say if it's $100, if you're gonna go that far to make a band like that, I'd rather just get a dedicated smartwatch, to be honest. Because for $100, I can pay $20 more and get the Gear Fit, and still get all my health information, my steps and everything, calorie, heart rate, and then get the extra smartwatch functions out of it, so notifications, calls, and just everything. So I would rather spend my money on that. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, why would you pay more for less? And that's my argument with the Apple Watch. Like, why would you pay more for less? Why spend $750 on a stainless steel Apple Watch, first gen Apple Watch, that gives you this much? That gives you the same functionality as a $150 LG G Watch R. If you got the money to spend, good for you. But if you're a poor person making that decision, that is a horrible investment. Horrible, horrible investment. So, yes. So, hopefully that brings the point across. Oh, wait, you also said something else. Nolan also said Circuit Bracelet is basically a band that shows digital tablet on your arm. Your arm is your touchscreen. Oh, that's cool. That is actually cool. And that's actually what a lot of people have been talking about and speculating, that instead of limiting the wrist area to a screen, sorry for those who are listening on the audio cast, but instead of limiting it to a screen, you can go ahead and transform your entire wrist or forearm into the screen to get all your information. So literally, you can have your arms crossed and look down and just be like, you can read an entire text message or something like that. You know, that'd be kind of cool. I would need to. I'll after the podcast, I'll research a little bit more to give a better opinion on it. But I like the direction that goes, but they need to execute it correctly, though. It can't just be like the laser keyboards back in the day, where it was like a infrared, like a red laser keyboard on the table, and that's how it worked. Like, they definitely need to do a little bit better on that. Mark Stevenson. Oh, thank you. Yes. So yeah, it's because of Samsung's lack of, bringing out the accessories that would have sold the Gear S a lot better for them. I will go ahead. Like, I am right now trying to help this designer from Korea to sell his metal bands for him. And with that, I asked him if he's able to produce more designs, and yes. I obviously need to sell the current stock that he has of these metal bands. And if you look around my room, I literally have like boxes of these stupid priority boxes ready to go, and I've become a shipment center per se for him. So I'm right now waiting for the next shipment. But if we can sell all of his stock, he's gonna have the ability to pretty much make a lot of these awesome different bands, so ceramic, different colored stainless steels, leathers, and as well as I asked him, because I sent him a picture of the diesel, the bracelet gauntlets, essentially for the Gear S, because they looked sick. I don't know if any of you saw them. They looked absolute sick, and I wish they would come out in the States. I mean, but they never released them. And I asked him, could he make something similar? He's like, I can make those exact ones, and that just lit a fire in my brain. So hopefully we sell enough of these metal bands. So he can make those, and he can make them cheaper. So I know the metal bands are priced that high right now. But if you compare apples to apples, they're selling the replacement rubber straps for $60 on Amazon. So $10 more, you're gonna get a stainless metal band. So I mean, yeah, but hopefully we can get them cheaper in the future. But we gotta sell these initial stocks first. So wish us luck, folks. Wish us luck. Let's see here. Kim Mi-sung, I think the Gear A looks like the Moto 360. Yes, but the Moto 360 is ugly in my opinion. It was way too thick. I just didn't like the design. And for those of you who've been listening to all my podcasts and my reviews, I am not a fan of the circle designs. I hate it. I absolutely do not like the circle designs. Main reasoning, you're making new technology look like old technology. Why? Move forward. Like the Gear S was pushing the watch design forward, the smartwatch design forward. It makes it look futuristic. The fact that people assume this Gear S is the Apple Watch because they think this is the futuristic looking watch compared to the Apple Watch. Point. So there's that. Nolan, there should be videos on YouTube, and I agree needs to be better. Oh yeah, you have to go. Yeah, real life stuff. Yeah, I'll tune in next time. Well, no, it'll be recorded, so hopefully you can watch the rest of the recording later on. So thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate your time, man. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Still no compatibility with the Note Pro 12.12. Yeah, unfortunately. And that's going... Hold on a sec, folks. One of the subscribers saying that he has a picture of the Note... Of the... Now, Kim Mi-sung, is that really real? Because I don't want to show that to everyone if that's not the final design. So, folks, if you can see it, one of the subscribers just sent me a picture. Apparently, that's what the Gear A will look like, according to a Korean designer. I'm still not a fan. I know it can sound handy, but I'm still not a fan. And maybe I think it probably looks it looks better than the Moto 360. I think. I don't know, but it's not the official final design, so we gotta wait. We gotta wait on it though. There's that there. So let me see here. Sorry, I need to get a drink of water first. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with another topic that I want to talk about today, and I want to go back to Apple. So here we go. The Apple Watch. Just one fun little story. One little thing I want to share with you guys. It wasn't until I went on my business trip to a different state where someone finally approached me and asked about my Samsung Gear S. They actually specifically pointed out it was a Gear S, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It took only 8 months for someone to recognize as a Gear S on my wrist. We had a good discussion about that, but I really found it interesting that now that a lot of my coworkers, because I came back from my trip and I met with some of my teammates and my friends who all have Apple Watches, and it's a good handful of them now who have the Apple Watch. But I asked them how many times have they been approached by people and asked if it was an Apple Watch, and their answers really shocked me. Most of them said none, that no one has approached them about their watch. And the only times that some of them said that they've been approached is when they were using it. in public. That is the only time they said they've been approached and asked if it was an Apple Watch in public. And I found that absolutely friggin' hilarious, because people who know about Apple, who are Apple fanboys and girls, are going into people who don't have the Apple Watch but have the LG G Watch R, Moto 360, now the Urbane, the Gear S, Gear 2 Neo, all the other fancy watches. They're going to them and asking them if they have the Apple Watch. And the reasoning is, it's because every other watch looks better. It sticks out. It looks like it should be the Apple Watch, if anything. And I find that absolutely hilarious, that the people who have it aren't asked, and the people who don't have the other devices do get asked. So, yeah, I just find that absolutely hilarious. And very ironic, because it's just funny. But I just wanted to bring up that quick story, and just considering time, I'm just gonna move on right into my last little discussion that I wanted to talk about before I move on to the live Q&A, and that is the future of virtual reality. I know I talked about this before. But there have been a few videos and articles and comments that I've been reading from people saying that it's just like the 3D craze a few years back, that it's just a fad and gimmick, and it's just going to go away like the 3D glasses and TVs did. And I cannot disagree more than that statement, because I don't think it's the same situation at all. And if you actually look at the market, it is not the same situation. Yes, you can agree. You can go ahead and state that, well, no major tech company is working on virtual reality, so what's the big deal? Because when 3D came out, like Panasonic, Sony, Samsung, LG, every TV maker was making a 3D TV to try and sell it. It didn't sell well. But this time is very different, because virtual reality, well, yes, the actual mainstream part of the gaming came through via Kickstarter campaign with Oculus Rift. Now, people can argue that the technology is very simple, but there's a lot more involved than you think. But it wasn't until this indie firm decided to start a Kickstarter campaign, and enough people in the market saw interest and believed in it, that they fully funded this company. And this company was funded enough to the point where they could not only make one development kit, but they made two versions. The second one was immensely approved. And then all of a sudden it sparked many separate products, not only video games, virtual reality games, but a new industry had emerged. A new industry around, so all these startup companies, to like this image right here, the OmniRich, a running platform for the Oculus Rift. In general, they're not the only ones. There's several other companies who made running as platforms to work with the virtual reality software and the games. Not only that, body units, hand controls. There's a variety of hand control units, all working towards the single goal of full immersion gaming. And that's been going on for the last 4 years. About 3 years now, and it's been growing crazy to the point where finally a big company, Facebook, recognized. I don't know why Facebook, but they recognized the validity of the growth and popularity of these VR things, and they bought out Oculus. Then the next thing you see is Samsung jumping on board, partnering with them to bring out not one, but 2 Gear VR units. And, like, I'll put it this way. After the Gear VR came out, I saw a definite increase in the demand for virtual reality. Because now everyday people, because the only thing that was holding the virtual reality back in the beginning was the fact that you need to be somewhat tech savvy with PCs in order to get it to work. But the Samsung solution with Oculus, the Gear VR, it's a no-brain solution. Everyone knows how to use a smartphone. You plug it into a dock, put it on your head, and you go. What's difficult about that? So, I mean, they're the first company to really try to bring it to the consumer market. Then you got Google coming around saying, well, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars. You have a smartphone. Here's a $20 cardboard unit. Here's a $20 cardboard unit. You can go ahead and enjoy virtual reality. Now, obviously, the experience is different and everything, but there's so many companies. So like the 3D, there's a lot of companies backing this technology. So Sony's also jumping in on board with their Project Morpheus. But the reason why it won't fail, it's because it's the readiness. It is the readiness of the current market right now for the technology. And that might be a far-fetched statement, but these companies and these side projects all have been funded because of the demand for it. You go on YouTube right now. Look at all the virtual reality videos. There are several that have gone viral. There are several that are in the millions and hundreds of thousands of views. People are interested in this and people are wanting it. And every single person who has the one main factor that you can see why it will be successful, in my opinion, it's an easy test, is to see the reaction between 3D glasses and virtual reality. Because when people look at 3D movies, it's like, ooh, or that one scene where the spear is like, oh, that was cool, but I have a headache now. But then you pop someone into a roller coaster on a Gear VR device and they freak out. Put them into a horror 360 video movie. They're freaking out. They are literally in that world. Like they're like in my recent expo that I did for my company, I showed also on the virtual reality stuff. They just start laughing hysterically, just for no absolute reason. Their reaction is just laughter and joy. That is the raw emotion you get when you use the virtual reality devices. So with that, in fact, that wow factor, as long as they make it affordable for the everyday consumer, it's gonna do well. Period. Ball drop. I could be proven wrong. We'll see in the future. But folks, that's pretty much my last. That was my last topic discussion we'll talk about. I know it's short. Sorry, I've been away for a week and a half on my business trip, so I haven't been able to keep up with the topics and everything. And but I'm back, so my next podcast will definitely be a lot more structured per se. But let's just go ahead and move on for the last hour or so for the Q&A, because I think that's what a lot of you enjoy more. So let me go ahead and go back to the comments. Let me get a drink first, folks. It's tough talking for like 2 hours straight. But let me go ahead and go back to some comments here. Tar Heel, welcome, dude. I was on the train in Atlanta airport. Two ladies behind me started talking about my watch. One said, "Oh, it's the iPhone." Once again, people just don't know. I love the one article that came out saying that Apple users are smarter than Android users. Yeah, moving on. TRG 1408, what's going on, dude? It's okay if you arrived late. This is recorded so you can watch it later. Tar Heel, Microsoft says the HoloLens is all augmented reality instead of virtual reality. Yeah. I mean, it is. And I've done a video on that. Like, augmented reality is definitely different from virtual reality. So, I mean, if you don't know the difference, quickly, augmented reality is literally I'm looking into my environment and they're displaying stuff over it, or they're laying graphics over something like that. It's augmenting reality as a state. And virtual reality is obviously the virtual world that you explore and everything. I'm actually loving. I did a quick segment on that. It's just I'm glad that Microsoft's jumping on board with the HoloLens, because then it's pushing Google to push their Google glasses even further. Because I think that augmented reality, the glass technology, is pretty much the next step in all of this. So I'm really glad that they're pushing it. It's not quite there yet, but I give it 5 years where it's full consumer ready, where it's just simply wearing your glasses and you don't even need to carry around a phone anymore. So look out, folks. Leonard, welcome, dude. Oh no, thank you. Seriously, thank all of you who come in and watch my stuff, and even you guys even comment. You're engaging with me. I'm not talking with myself for 2 hours straight. I mean, this is what I do. This is what I dreamt of doing with my YouTube channel, and it's just engaging with the community and just hang out with everyone because that's what it is. So thank you. Like, I wish I can do more. That's my thing. I'm sorry that I haven't been like, I'm not like a daily content, or I'm more knowledgeable in my stuff and I don't have more variety of content. Trust me, I wish I could literally do this all day long, 7 days a week. Wake up, be able to do more content, do higher quality content. But unfortunately, like, I got to maintain my life too. So like, I only have time to do this after work, so I only have maybe 3-4 hours a day to dedicate to YouTube, and that's into my sleep time. That's not like fun free time. Like, but it's been paying off lately, guys. Like, at first I was gonna give up on this thing, but it's definitely become a part of my life that I will not stop doing. So, lack of sleep, I welcome it. I'll catch up on the weekends. Mika Blackheart asks, how soon will we see a PlayStation 5, and do we need a slim model of the PS4? You're asking. How soon we will see a PS5? I would expect the same 5-year life cycle. And I say that 5-6 year life cycle because I say that is because the virtual reality technology, the motion tracking software technology, and everything, it's going to need a few years to be worked out and refined. The fact that Sony's jumping on board with Project Morpheus, and apparently, according to all the reviews, are doing it correctly, it's promising. Because then that means they're setting up for the future of gaming properly. Folks, the future of gaming is not tablet gaming. It is right now because people are onto apps or anything, but true gaming, where I would personally spend hundreds of dollars or pay a monthly subscription fee to be a part of a virtual world, it's going to be virtual. It really is. I mean, look at the popularity of a lot of the great MMORPGs like World of Warcraft. It's because people want to get away from sometimes their current lives and just be a part of a different world. And what better way to do it than let a person's imagination flourish in a virtual environment? Because that's when you can literally do anything you want. I mean, that's a different argument. I know that's a conversation point to have later on, but that's something to think about. But I think sometime 2020, so 2019, 2020 is when we're probably going to see the PS5. Probably 2018, 2019 is when we're going to see the PS5. But it's going to be a very different gaming console. So if you guys go on YouTube, look for the PlayStation 9 commercial that they released like 10 years ago for the PlayStation 2, where it's like an orb that goes into your brain and covers your senses and immerses you into the game. That's the future of gaming, folks. Leonard Holly asks, will Google fix the lollipop problem? They better. I mean, I have never seen a better reason to go back to Apple or go back to buy a Samsung Tizen phone. They just better fix it. I really hope they fix it. And not to say lollipop's bad. My main thing is you it's like you give everything and you don't give all this stuff and then take stuff away from people. The fact that you're not letting me stream my VR content to my Chromecast is pissing me off. It worked seamlessly with KitKat, and all of a sudden, it's unfortunately put a hinder on my video making and skills, and not my skills, my process. So I really hope that they fix that. Danny Bassings, are these podcasts scheduled? I just happened to open YouTube at the start of this one. Yes, they are. You just checked your link. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Every other week, every other Friday, 9 o'clock. So 9:30 will be the rough start time, depending on what time I get home that day. and I do it for 2 hours. So every other Friday, and then so far, four consecutive episodes I've been on time. I've been doing it, so wish me luck, guys. Hopefully, a little bit under a year from now, we'll be celebrating our 1 year anniversary episode. So fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll get there one day. But thank you guys. So, but it looks like the questions have stopped. This is the first time where I've in the last few podcasts where it's stopped in the comments feed. So I'm gonna let that build for a bit. So let me just get a quick drink of another water. Sorry. Well, Leonard just asked a question. Leonard, have you heard anything about Android M? Actually, another commenter said something about it earlier. I personally haven't. I mean, I've heard rumors about it, but I personally haven't read up on anything yet. So nothing's solid. So I'd rather not say anything until I have experienced it or read something on it, so I know what I'm talking about later on. So nothing quite yet. But it looks like a couple people left the comment feed. So while we're here, let me go ahead and check Twitter to see if anyone came on board there. Because I do have a hashtag LPX Podcast for anyone to submit a question. So let's go ahead and search Twitter for questions if anyone submitted. So give me a second here. So let's go ahead and open that up. And no one. Okay. No one submitted anything there yet. But let me go ahead and take this time, guys, for those of you who have stuck through and listened to this part. I know it's not a lot of you, but for the handful of you that will actually listen to this part of the audio cast or watch this part of the DVR episode, just wanted to thank you guys because I just recently passed 4,000 subscribers, and that came out of nowhere. Because I wasn't expecting to hit that number until the end of the month, looking at my trends and everything. But during the week and a half I was gone, all of a sudden the channel grew, not exponentially, but more than normal. And I wasn't posting any videos, and because of the conference, I wasn't able to post any videos, keep up with my comments. I wasn't able to do what I normally did, and I was really sad. But all of a sudden, like, I was barely able to check the channel at all. But when I was able to, I was like, it grew by like 60 people one day, 50 people one day, and all of a sudden I come back home, it's over 4,000. So just thank you to every single one of you who've taken the time to view the videos. Not only that, but to also share my videos, to comment on them, like them, or even dislike them. I don't even mind dislike, but just I appreciate that, guys. Like, I never thought that my videos would ever become... nothing's viral right now. I don't have any viral videos per se, but a lot of you watch them and watch them multiple times, and I'm trying to make content that people actually need out there. It's not just for... Yes, I know I've attempted here and there to make some fun videos, but overall, I'm trying to make videos that people need and will enjoy as well too. So thank you to all of you who've supported this channel up to now. So here is to 5,000, but I'm gonna reward those of you who are actually in the current comment feed right now, as well as the people who have actually listened to this part of the podcast, with a little preview of my next giveaway. So I'm gonna be giving away either one of two things, and that is probably going to be, well, number one, I'm going to let you guys know, I'm actually trying my best right now to see if I can buy the LG G-Watch Urbane, because obviously I'm not sponsored right now, so I got to buy my own tech, but I think the LG G-Watch Urbane is the next logical tech to purchase, because it looks like it's probably going to be one of the best Android Wear watches out there. So I like to give Android Wear a solid second try, so that would be my next watch. But I'm going to let you guys know, this guy right here, the new Gear VR. I'm in the middle of testing it right now. I'm putting it through its paces, but I still like my Note 4, and looking at what I can do, it looks like I can still... I'll make all my VR content through that and my Oculus Rift DK2, so I'm not really in need of this Gear VR. And yes, I did pay full retail for it, but I did with the sole purposes of giving this away as my next milestone. And so the Gear VR S6 edition, the fancy box one. This is the Note 4 edition. I'm going to keep this, but I already gave one of these away. But I'm going to give the Gear VR S6 edition away. And it is a big thing. I know it'd be financially smarter to sell it on eBay and get the money back, but no, this is my way of thanking my subscribers. And that's the thing. And that's the thing I want to keep continue on, even if my channel grows or doesn't grow, is I want to go ahead and share the tech. I know a lot of people come onto these channels just to experience the videos, but you should experience it through yourselves. So I wish I can give every single one of you a device, but I'm not a billionaire yet. But at least one person can go and experience it. And you know what? My thing is, with this giveaway, I'm going to go ahead and encourage the winner to get it, play with it, and then, if possible, pass along to someone else. Because I think this is something that they should, I mean, it's up to them. If they want to send it back to me to do another giveaway, that'd be awesome, but we'll see. But I'm going to have different conditions this time to help my channel grow a little bit. But also, I'm also thinking, depending on when I get the LG G Watch Urbane, if I will end up keeping my Gear S or the Urbane, and then whichever that I don't want to keep, I will give it away. So that's something else to look forward to. So 2 epic giveaways coming up very soon, folks. So be on the lookout. So there's that. But thank you, guys. That's my way of thanking all of you to do so. And I cannot see any other better reason other than I want to share the tech, guys. Share the love. Share the love. All right. Let's get back to some questions, though, because now that I've given some time, there's some questions now. So let me just go ahead and go back up here. Mika, what do you think about the Dell Venue 10? I actually don't know anything about it. I actually haven't focused on Dell for a while now. The last thing I've focused on them for was actually Alienware. So I'll check it out, though. Let me write that down really quick. Okay. The Dell Venue 10. I'll check it out after the podcast, dude. Thanks for the heads up. TRG1408. What Apple products do you own / have you owned? Currently, shamelessly, I do not have any Apple products right now. But let me go ahead and let me give my reasoning for it. I used to be an Apple fanboy. Surprise! Surprise! Yes, I used to be an Apple fanboy. I bought the very first iPhone when it came out. I was one of the first I was in college. I used all the money for my work study to pre-order one. I got that. Then I got the 3GS. Then I got the 4. Then I got the 4S. I got the first iPad. I went through 3 MacBooks. So I've had several of their products. And the reason I left is because I got tired with the restrictions. They started to get stagnant on me right away. They stopped being innovative. It's because it's right around when the Samsung released the S3, and then I jumped ship with the phone, and then I was thinking about buying a new tablet, and then they released the Note, and I bought the Note, and then all of a sudden I wasn't needing a gaming PC, so I sold my MacBook and got a gaming PC, and then ever since then, I've never gone back to any of the Mac products because I haven't had a need for any of them. Now, in the future, would I like to buy another one? The only Mac product that I would want to buy right now is probably one of their desktops or one of their computers for editing purposes. Because while my PC is awesome, I work with the multimedia team at my workplace. I don't work in the team; I work with them. But I've tinkered around with some of their Mac devices for their video editing, and it's a lot smoother. Oh my gosh, it's so much better on that. So I do admit that I bow down to that. So hopefully one day, if this channel grows enough, I might be able to afford one of those one day. So Fingers crossed. Perry Freeman, is it hard to fix the Gear S LCD screen? Perry, I think the better question to ask is it hard to break it? Because obviously, have you seen my durability test? I put this thing through hell and I couldn't break it. I still haven't broken it after 7 months, and I'm a klutz. I banged my wrist against the wall edges, stone walls, car door. I've fallen on it while playing sports. Running on the treadmill, I banged it against the thing. The thing hasn't break. It's a beast. Unlike the Apple Watch, where I've heard it's been shattering quite a bit. But other than that, though, I mean, it wouldn't be. I haven't seen anything for replacement screens because I haven't heard anything about these screens breaking. Now, you would have to literally try to break this. But if you did, I'm pretty sure. I don't think warranty would cover it, but I would just. I mean, if you're that worried, I would definitely be sure to make sure that you have a warranty plan with it, because that would definitely cover it. Tar Heel, thank you. Leonard Holly, how often do you use your S Pen? I use it about 40 to 60% of the time when I use my Note 4 device. So there's that. Kim Mi-sung, Samsung Galaxy S4 Active has burn-in because software. Huh. Okay. Yahtzee the Pudgy Hippie. Love the name, dude. Love the name. He says I deserve more subs. Well, thank you for saying so. You and a few other people have said that. And, I mean, the reason is, well, one thing I'm relatively new to, so a lot of people don't know me. I got to be more veteran on YouTube, apparently. So, but I'm growing slowly but surely. Still have a ambitious goal of hitting 100,000 by the end of the year. Now that's almost June. It's probably not going to happen, but I mean, hopefully I'll reach maybe 10,000 by the end of the year. So that'll be a solid goal to get to. But maybe one day, actually one of my videos might go viral. Who knows? Tar Heel, hey, Samsung should pay you for the Gear S series. You would think. I've actually asked one. I met one of the regional reps for Samsung through the Best Buy, and I asked him about that. And he just laughed. I'm like, you serious? Like, I'm selling these bands for you guys, and he's like, well, that's why we keep you around. He joked with me. Leonard Holly, did you buy anything from Geek yet? No, not yet. I haven't had to. My finances have been rather tough. My finances have been rather tight lately, and the only reason why I'm thinking about buying the LG G Watch Urbane, it's because I'm getting my mid-year bonus, and after I pay off my credit cards for the business for this channel, I'm gonna have about a little bit left over, so hopefully enough to buy that watch. If not, I might end up buying something smaller or something like that, because I'm a tech channel, so I gotta keep up with technology. Let's take a look here. Kim Mi-sung, he has to have a PCS Test 6. Everything's gonna be fair and square. Let's take a look here. Yahtzee, the Pudgy Hippie, I don't have the S6, I have the Note 4 and the VR for the Note 4. Well, then you're set, don't worry. Go ahead and enter my LG G Watch Urbane giveaway when that happens. Or the Gear S giveaway. I don't know, because once again, I am not loyal to one brand. If LG really wows me with their watch, I'm converting. So I move on with I keep the technology that I end up loving and that has improved my life. So if it does, LG has done a good job. So we'll give them a good chance. Drunken Jay, how is it? Oh, I mean the S6, the Gear VR, it's definitely running better. The viewing experience is still the same. Like I said in my quicker review, the only improvements are really the performance, so it can last longer. Screen quality is noticeably better, not significantly, but noticeably better. And it definitely lasts longer. It's got a built-in fan, and unfortunately I found out that it wasn't a built-in battery. There's a built-in charger plug, so you can actually plug in the Gear VR to an outlet and you can make the battery last longer, which is a good thing, but kind of defeats the purpose of the portability thing. But it's good for when you're sitting down just watching movies. But they have a built-in fan that I did not know of. There's a built-in fan to help cool it down, and it's run noticeably longer. I actually haven't played it long enough to get the overheat screen. So other than that, I mean, the Note 4 Gear VR and the Oculus Rift were home runs for me. They were awesome VR experiences. Now the S6 Edge, the S6 version has pretty much made that experience better by making it last longer and getting rid of some of the issues that existed before. Yahtzee. Me, I haven't used it for a couple of days, but I think they had an update. Yeah, they did. Like, pretty much after Lollipop came out and I wasn't able to record my virtual reality videos, my Note 4 Gear VR kind of went on the shelf for a while there. And now I'm trying to get back into it. I haven't found a workaround, so I'm going to go back to the old school method of just recording my television while I do it. But it's definitely, what's it called? Yeah, it definitely got overhauled. Like, the new interface looks better, I think, but it's definitely cool. What did you use it for? Oh, you guys are talking to yourselves right now. Okay, so the couple of the guys are talking about the Gear VR and what do you use it for? I personally, while I was not pretty much I could play the apps, but I decided not to because when I actually record myself reviewing some of the apps for the virtual reality units, I like to give my raw reaction. So I don't want to give I play it and then do a review. No, I want to do a review while playing it because, I mean, you can't the first time I scream and really laugh about it and enjoy it. That should be the reaction you see, not me trying to replicate that. So, but aside from that, yeah, I've been watching a ton of movies and my TV shows on it because you're in a movie theater. Like, when you gotta try it for yourself, you literally sit there and you're in the cinema with a huge screen. Like, you can't go wrong. But that's pretty much what I mainly use it for. And once I get the recording software back up, I'll definitely be playing a lot more games on it. Leonard Holly, will you give away any Gear S watch bands? Not right now. I wanted to, but I'm pretty much selling them at cost at this point. And that's the thing. A lot of people have been complaining to me about the price. And the thing is, I'm selling them at cost. I'm breaking even. From all the transport fees, the import fees, the seller fees, the site fees, shipping, and then the designer too. Because technically speaking, I'm selling them for the designer, and he's made him. It was pretty expensive for him to make the first batch because he pretty much handmade most of them. And so that's why. And I had to increase the prices on eBay and Amazon because I didn't realize the costs were so high on those sites. And I was actually losing a few dollars per sale. So I was losing like $300-$400 after I sold the first 100 bands. So I had to change the price. So that's the thing. So I took a personal hit for these things. And to get all that set up wasn't cheap either. So technically speaking, I've lost money selling these bands. So I was actually about to give up halfway through. But I decided to keep muscling through because eventually if we sell enough of these, and I believe we will, the designer is going to be able to actually mass produce a lot of them at once for a lot cheaper, meaning I can sell them cheaper with a slight markup so I can maybe recoup my losses in the future. But for now, I've lost a bit of money on setting up this stuff because, yeah, setting up the Amazon store and all the online BS I had to go through wasn't cheap. But it's someone has to bring these to market. Why not? Why not it be me? So hopefully it pays off in the future. I know a lot of people don't really know about that, nor will they believe me on that. A lot of people are saying you're still trying to make a quick buck. I lost money on it, so whatever. You can believe me or not, but that's pretty much the truth right now. So there's that. But eventually, I think I will. If he sends me enough, I'm trying to work with him right now. Essentially, I'm selling them for him, and I'm trying to work with him. It's like, hey, can you send me a couple free ones I can give away? And he was like, no. So we've had miscommunications here and there, but hopefully I will give one or two away in the future. Hopefully I have some of the new designs. That's what I want to do. Yahtzee, the pudgy hippie. I don't like Apple phones. The only thing I like about Apple are the laptops. Really? I hate the laptops too, man. Like, it's just, they're overpriced. For me, it's like the functionality is there, but I do not want to be paying those prices. Seriously, $1,500, $2,000? I can get a beast of a Razer gaming laptop, or I can buy a perfectly good Microsoft Pro tablet 3 or like an HP flip laptop for $500-$600 and still have a G left over for, let's say, oh, I'm going to upgrade in a few years, or I want to go buy some nice, like, you can do so much more with that money. It's for me, Apple has become a waste of money. It really has. What you're paying for is not what you're getting in return. And that's why I haven't gone back. I don't think I will ever go back. Aside from that desktop thing. But I can always get Adobe Creative Studio on my PC. So it's not a necessity. But that's why I've never gone back. So let me catch up on these comments here. Oh, wow. Okay, I have plenty of questions to go through now. Are you excited for... Sorry. Are you... So Peter Porcaro asks, are you excited for Windows 10? I heard anyone with Windows 7 or 8 will get a free upgrade. Mostly everyone. And yes and no, I'm excited for it. I'm excited that they're actually going to improve upon... Windows 10 is pretty much the demon child of Windows 7 and 8 combined, plus some extra features. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Me personally, I had 3 Windows 8 devices, and eventually when I built my PC to do this channel, I went back to Windows 7 Ultimate just because of how smooth it ran and that's the thing. Every major gamer out there has gone back and built a Windows 7 machine. So they're technically going to force us to go to Windows 10. Am I happy about that? No. But hopefully, I haven't... all the stuff I've read, I am semi-excited for it. So I gotta wait to see after it comes out. I fully installed it and tried it for myself. So we will have to wait and see. But I am semi-excited for it. Leonard Holly, do you think Apple should allow stores like T-Mobile to sell the iWatch? To be honest, they could sell it on Amazon and eBay for all I care. They're still going to sell a lot. I mean, for me, I can really care less about them at this point because they have successfully created millions and millions of mindless zombies to be their fans, and they're going to sell it all the time. So I can really care less if they distribute it or not. I don't like the Apple Watch. I personally, right now, like, I've been waiting for something from Apple to win me back, but they haven't. And I thought the Apple Watch would, but they lackluster release, design, functionality, everything. It's underwhelming. And so I can really care less about it. Drunken Jay, I jumped from the Apple to Android. I had the 5, went to the Xperia 2, LG G3, and went to the iPhone 6 and jumped to the S6 Edge. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest too. Like, when I jumped from the 4S to the S3, after a few months, I was thinking about jumping back. Like, I was like, maybe I should just go back to iPhone. And then they released a Note. And that changed my experience. And then ever since then, I haven't gone back. Just because even now, they've released the iPhone 6 Plus, and I said it earlier, they just made it a bigger iPhone 6. The Note 4 actually offers better functionality and more things. Like, it's no contest. And the S6 Edge, dude, you gotta admit, Drunken Jay, you gotta admit, the S6 Edge looks a lot better than the iPhone 6. Come on. Please agree with me on that statement. And plus, I know the Edge is a bit gimmicky, but I like the extra functionality that's actually built into it. It looks great, and it feels good too when you swipe back and forth. You gotta admit that. Let's take a look here. Boo Apple Watch. Kimi-san, how about I record a video about how to break the Gear S? I tried. Did you not see my torture test video, my durability test? I just renamed it to torture test. I tried to break that thing. Thing would not break. I actually, when I was on my business trip, a person was trying to argue with me that their Apple Watch was better, and I dared them to throw it across the room. They're like, who would do that? Why would I purposely try to break it? I literally took off my Gear S, and I threw it across the room, hit 2 walls, then hit the ground, and everyone just gasped. And I picked it up and put it back on. I'm like, it still works. I literally brushed my hands and then walked away. So, I'm sorry. I don't think anyone out there would literally challenge, do the same exact test I did. To be honest, if I become a bigger channel, I'm able to get like these watches, like duplicates of them, and actually someone gives me a watch to test, I think I'll brand it the LPX torture test. And I'll do everything I did again. The rocks, the knives, the scissors, the drop, hot, cold water, dryer, you know. What more do you need? Oh, sorry. Drunken Jay, get a hammer and nail and the beam. Okay, guys. I don't want to absolutely purposely destroy it because it's still an expensive piece of tech, and I didn't get the warranty for it, so no. Leonard Holly, you should keep your Gear S. It's like family to you. It is. I have sentimental value to it. But once again, I'm a semi-poor YouTuber, so I need to be able to keep up with the recent times and stuff. So if I need to get rid of it, I'll get rid of it. Willingly, no, but if it comes up, I will. If I have to sell it, I might have to sell it. Tar Heel, what does Sorry, I've been talking for almost 2 hours straight, so my voice is going. What does LPX stand for? LPX stands for actually Land Party Extreme, and that is because LPX was my business in college, where I actually ran a LAN center / cafe at college. And I decided to keep that name because I eventually, if you actually look at some of my earlier videos, my goal is to make a gamer's heaven per se, a geek heaven. Pretty much you come into this store and it's gonna have everything you need. You know, I'm gonna try to change the face of retail. That's my ambitious goal. Whether it happens or not one day, maybe not. But everything I'm doing, everything you guys are seeing me doing is actually working towards that goal. So, but it's LAN Party Extreme. Long story short. Perry Freeman, I have the black metal band, and he is going to make a silver one. Yes, he is. He actually showed me a prototype of it. So, we're just waiting for. Once again, we're just waiting to get. We just gotta get through this stock, and he's gonna make so many. Hopefully, many. And you guys will have a bunch to choose from at easier prices. Fingers crossed, guys. Kim Mi-sung, I think you are rich. Maybe your car is a Rolls Royce. If you actually see some of my videos, you can go on my Facebook. I drive a Hyundai Sonata from 2011. So it's 5 years, no, almost, technically it was released in 2010. So, because that's how they work. So it's technically almost 5 years old. So, no. And I'm still paying that off. Because I did like this 7-year finance thing. No, I'm not rich, dude. Nah. I just work hard. There's a difference. Like, everything you see here, half of it's my girlfriend helping me buy them. It's because, once again, quick backstory, I sold all my crap back in the day I've accumulated ever since I was a kid to buy my ex-fiance her ring, keyword ex-fiance. Made a big mistake and got myself some big trouble, and I lost a lot of stuff, but little by little I've been growing back, and I won't make that same mistake twice. But no, I just work hard. That's my personality. Like, even like the watch and the phone, it's just like, if I can't afford it now, I'll find out a way to afford it. And that's the difference between me and some people. A lot of people are like, well, I can never buy it, so I just won't think about it. No, if you really want it, you'll figure out a way to get it. Whether it's skipping out on certain meals, skipping out on going out sometimes. And that's what I did. I skipped out hanging out with some of my friends here and there. I stole a couple things here and there. I worked some extra shifts here and there, and I was able to save a couple $100 to get the Gear S initially. and stuff too. And that's just it. You don't have to be rich to have nice stuff. I mean, technically speaking, you don't have to have nice stuff to be happy. But just work hard and you'll get it. And for me though, hopefully my business will come to fruition one day, and we'll get to that point sooner or later. Oh geez, you guys are all right. Now I'm behind on questions. Damn. Drunken J, what do you think the Galaxy S7 should have? Okay, well, going down the list, obviously improved specs as the normal, year over year. That should be the normal, but I feel like it should rock a 4K resolution screen. My only reasoning behind that is you don't need that for viewing regular movies on the phone, because honestly, right now the current screens are ridiculous for what you need. But my reasoning for that is this guy right here. For those who listen to the audiocast, it's Gear VR. If you had a 4K resolution, even an 8K resolution, it would virtually eliminate the pixelation problem. I don't really care for it because I barely notice it until I focus on it. But a lot of people are very OCD about it. But being a 4K resolution, there'll be no question in the clarity of it. But the overall performance increase too, it would completely solve some of the computing problems and the performance issues. But that's one thing. Another thing too that they should have is actually they should bring back is the removable back piece. My thing is, I think they have the technology to create a removable aluminum back piece. They can make it feel premium, but still give it additional functionality. And bring back the expandable memory. Don't go the iPhone route and start being like 16 gig, 32 gig, 64 gig, 128 gig models. Don't do that. Don't start doing. Just because they're selling more than you, don't mimic them. They're only selling more than you because they created a mindless zombie horde. And on top of that, they've done better marketing than you. So don't copy them because you did piss poor marketing. Do better marketing. You'll sell your phones better. But I think they need to offer. But I mean, to be honest, that's it. Like, and on top of that, if they're serious about bringing out their own OS, maybe bringing out their Tizen OS too. That's what I'm thinking. But don't make any more incremental changes. Do something drastic with the design. To be honest, do something drastic with it. But we'll see. I mean, I don't like the direction that Samsung seems to be headed, but hopefully they're gonna prove us wrong. Mika Blackheart, you think the Note 5 will be plastic or will Samsung do what they did with the S6? With the Note 4, it's like 70% metal and glass, and then a little bit, and then this pleather crap in the back, which I don't mind. It feels great when you're using it. It feels like leather. But I think it's gonna be a metal design still. I don't like the glass backs, but if they do, it's not gonna be removable. So hopefully they don't go that route. Actually, I would prefer if they kept going this pleather route, because as much as the aluminum feels nice, I actually like the pleather feels more comfortable. Let's see, Kimi-san, will they use metal or glass? Oh, okay, you already said that. Okay. Yahtzee, the Pudgy Hippie. My cousin's dad works at Apple, so I got a discount, and I use it mostly for school. Oh, well, that makes sense. That's fine. I mean, if you put it this way, if you got a MacBook for a decent price, then that's good. That's fine. For me, it says I just would never pay full retail for it. I mean, that's just, you just don't. You just don't. But I can't be a hypocrite. I did buy one too when I went to college, but they offer that I think they still offer that college student discount, where back when I went to college, they gave a MacBook Pro, an iPod, a choice of an iPad or an iPod Touch, and a bunch of software. And I got it for about $1,000 back then. And I thought that was a good deal. And I think that's still a good deal. If you get it for under $1,000 and they give you all this extra stuff like an iPad on top of it, then it's a decent deal. But full retail normal, no. Kimi-san, you guys know Samsung is a Korean company. I think a lot of people know that. Don't worry. Tar Heel, I've been using Windows 10 Insider program since first version. I love it. Well, that's good to hear. I I've heard several people liking it so far, so that's good. That's why I'm semi-excited for it, just because maybe Microsoft has learned from the wrongs of their ways and actually have done something. So thank you for telling me that. Peter Porcaro. Okay, you're using it too, so that's good to hear. More people, the merrier. I gotta wait for them to officially release it so I can try it. And thankfully, it's gonna be a free update. So that's unlike them. So we'll see. Yeah, everyone's bragging about the Apple Watch. Oh yeah, Yahtzee. Yeah, everyone's bragging about the Apple Watch, and I have the Gear S, and no one cares. Well, pretty much make them care, because you can go ahead and just one up them. Just be like, can you guys use it as a standalone device? No. I actually had, because I'll put it this way, all my coworkers were, for the last 2.5 years, they were ooh and eyeing at all the watches I was wearing. So the Gear Fit, Gear 2, the LG Watch R, Moto 360, they were constantly ooh and eyeing in jealousy. And then all of a sudden the Apple Watch comes out and they all are like, this is the first smartwatch ever. This is going to be awesome. And they totally forgot about all the crap that I kept bringing in. So, like, literally they all got it and they stood around one day and I was there too. And they're like, look, Andrew, look, we finally got a watch, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you guys still know that and I told them all the things that they didn't have that my Gear S did. And they were all like, seriously? And I just dropped $500, $700 for this. One dude's dropped $1,000. I'm like, I just stood there and I'm like, you guys know you guys are idiots, right? I said that. And they were in silence because they knew I was right. They knew I was right. Let's see here. TRG 1408, having never built a gaming PC and only own consoles, what advice would you give me for building my own PC? Should I build one or should I buy a pre-built one and go from there? Well, it depends. It really does, because honestly the pricing these days have come kind of close, where to the point where, let's say you're building $1,000 PC worth of components yourself. Or you can pay a professional and buy it for $1,300, so $300 more. And on top of that, it comes with a warranty. So a lot of the people out there would actually recommend you, if you don't have previous experience and if you're really not interested, like you're just kind of passively interested, you're just better off buying a custom built PC, because it's still better. It's still cheaper than buying a retail from like Dell or HP. But if you're really serious about wanting to build your own and really learning about the components and how the PC works, definitely there's a lot of channels out there right now, a lot of videos and tutorials on how to do so. You should definitely educate yourself before you even begin to shop for components. And I mean, educate yourself on the differences between Intel, AMD, the different RAM sizes, tower sizes, processors. It's a lot to learn. I mean, for me, I spent about a good month educating myself on computer components before I built my first PC. And I built my first one back in 2005. And I've been doing so ever since. I have not bought a brand new PC since then. I built my own. And what's the beauty of it is you can build, let's say, an Alienware PC. What will cost you $6,000 from them, you can pay $1,500 and build your own. I mean, that's the beauty of it. And you can customize it to your liking. So it really depends. Definitely do your research. And after doing your research, if you really feel like maybe it might not be for me, then go with a pre-built one. I personally recommend buying it from Origin. Origin PC. That, if I were to buy one, I would buy it from them. So that's one company to check out. I'm not sponsored, so don't worry. Leonard Holly, I asked my $1 million question of the week. I know, bro. I know. I'm sorry. I want to quit my job and just do this. Trust me. Just so much to do. It's on my list. I swear. It's literally on my notebook. You're there. I promise you. Tar Heel, would you rather have phone with micro SD card slot and replacement battery, or the S6 type phone? I'll put it this way. I would still get the S6 phone with 64 gigs of memory. Because me personally, I'm okay with managing my data. So what's in? So moving movies, taking movies in and out and stuff. I'm okay with that. But the main reason for me going with the S6 still is the added functionality that they did add. A lot of the stuff that they've omitted to make the phone run smoother. And on top of that, the hardware. Because I am a virtual reality user, let's say if that was a phone I was trying to get to do virtual reality, that's the one I would get. It runs, I'll put it this way, those are two minor things. I love how the whole removable battery, SD card slot, and the bottom looking like the iPhone 6 has completely overshadowed the performance and the capability of this phone. It really has. That's all people are focusing on. They're not focusing on the actual phone. The screen is gorgeous. I love watching movies on it. Oh, when I did. It's my girlfriend's, but it's a great phone. Why would you go to... It's like I'll put it this way. It's like, would you rather get an 06 Mustang or the brand new 2015 Mustang? Oh, I'll go with the 06 one because it offered me, I don't know. You can just say, I had automatic reclining seats on mine, and the new 2015s don't have manual seats. So I'm going to stick with the old one. But the new one offers more power, more aesthetics, it looks better. You're not going to get the new one because of that? I know that's a bad metaphor, but that's pretty much my mentality on it. Next question. Yahtzee the Pudgy Hippie. It says there are 5 people watching. There should at least be 1 to 200 people. Once again, thanks for saying so, man. But I'm a small channel. I recognize that, so I won't linger. The fact that right now it says 6 people, I'm excited. Because when I first did these podcasts, even my first live stream, I didn't think that one person would show up. So the fact that I have 6 guys right now, 6 guys or girls, guys and girls, sorry, and you guys are asking me questions. We're having a conversation right now. Yes, it might sound one-sided because I'm talking myself, but we're having a great conversation. I hope you guys are having a good time. It's a Friday night. I'll put it this way: the fact that 6 people have taken their time from a Friday night to sit down and listen to this idiot talk and rant on. I mean, I'm very honored and I'm very appreciative of that. So there's that. Drunken Jay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys saying that. That's awesome. Drunken Jay, what do you think the new Gear Orbis should... Oh my... You must rewind to the earlier point of this video. But just quickly over, better functionality of the bezel, and they need to make the operating system very smooth, visually appealing, and just make it better than the Gear S. On that, just do it that, and on top of that, offer multiple options for the people who might not want the standalone. Don't charge them an extra $100 for it. If they don't need a SIM card slot, omit it and charge them $100 less, and offer them that. Offer them better accessories, and on top of that, make sure it works with other devices, and most importantly, have a solid marketing campaign so people can actually know about the device. Period. Ugh. All right. I forget where I stopped at. Hold on. Okay. All right, folks. Hold on to comments really quick. I got maybe 10, 15 minutes left. I'm going to try and answer all your questions at rapid fire. So give me a second. All right. So let's try to catch up. Our first product... So Peter Porco, our first Apple product was an iPod Touch third generation that his work gave him. Leonard Holly, what is your thought on the Windows phones? I wish they would have continued it. Because I thought the Windows 8 platform would have been better on tablets and phones. So hopefully it doesn't die. I hope they actually do rekindle, because I want to see more operating systems out there than just Android and iOS. Ballstain Geek. Oh, well, welcome, dude. Gear S in its own league. I watch our far. Nice statement, dude. Yahtzee the Pudgy Hippie. Like the Gear Neo, I want the new Gear S to have a camera and color bands. Yes. And they do have color bands out there, but kind of ridiculous. Don't worry. I am going to bring the new luxury bands and the fun bands for the Gear S to the market. Because Samsung won't do it, so someone has to. Yahtzee, agreed. Leonard Holly, did you get Shaq Fu yet? It was dead on arrival. I tried to put it in, it wouldn't play, so I had to return it back to the seller, unfortunately. Drunken Jay, apparently Samsung is still losing sales on the S6. Thoughts on why? And I kind of went, I don't know if you saw the first opening discussion of this podcast, but I did talk about that. And I'll get back to your question. Let me go through the rest of the questions. I'll get back to that because it is actually a very important question that I think people are not thinking about before answering. So let me get back to that on that. Mika Blackheart, what is your PSN? Wanger 375. Wanger 375. WANGER 375 is my gamer tag as well for Steam and PSN. Blazian Geek, keep it real. S6 is a major fail. Marketing, I'll put it this way. In sales wise and what they've done, it seems like it's been a major fail. Is it a horrible phone? No. I mean, a lot of people can say, well, because of that, because of this, it's not a horrible phone. It is actually, in my opinion, and from my usage, it is still better than a lot of the phones out there and some of the other flagship phones out there. But the release of it, the timing of it, I'm actually going to go over it and trying to answer Drunken Jay's question. How Samsung has handled it has been a fail, and I'm going to go over that. The Note Edge has more features than the S6 Edge. Yes, agreed. Blazing Geek 5.0 versus 4.6. Give me the old 5.0. Yes. Leonard Holly, are you going to do Skype next time? Yes. I just didn't have time to set it up, unfortunately, because I came home late. Anak1N183. Oh, welcome. Hey, do you know ways of getting metal bands to the Gear S besides what you are doing? No. And that's my thing. If I knew, I would have promoted that long ago. It's because I've been waiting patiently for 6 months to try to find people, but no one's been selling it. And apparently this Russian kid just spammed one of my videos saying that he was making leather bands for them and had free worldwide shipping. I don't know what he was doing, but he didn't have a site on eBay or Amazon or anywhere. No one was selling them. And one of the subscribers here actually approached me saying that he found one and he bought one. And then I was like, great, tell me the guy's website so I can promote it. And he can back me up on this. I said that. Does he have a website? Does he have a channel? Does he have a site that I can promote for him so people can start buying that? And the dude said no. And I was astonished. If you actually look at my metal band videos, I talk about this. No one was selling them. So, I mean, I asked him, it's like, oh, well, how much is he charging them? They were a bit high. I was like, well, would you like me to sell them for you? And we went with a lot of back and forth. And this is why we've landed at the situation where we're in now. So, no one's selling them right now. But hopefully, I will go ahead. Look, we will sell enough of the current stock. And once again, that he will have the means of mass producing a lot more. Not just quantity, but also designs. And I'll probably pretty much dedicate my website store and my Amazon eBay pages to selling these bands for him. And you guys will have a variety to choose from, as well as better prices. But right now, I haven't found any others. And if you have, please let me know, because I will go ahead and gladly promote that on my channel, because that's what I'm here to help you. I am not here for financial gain. I'm here to help you find whatever you need, because I would personally like another one too. So more variety, the better. Tar Heel, if you could have only one app on your Gear S, what would that be? I want the Samsung wallet back. They got rid of it. I don't know why. Well, no, I know why. It's because they're getting ready to implement Samsung Pay. And like I said in my video, for me, I like the fact that they're getting rid of the junk apps to replace them with better ones or improved ones, but you should only do that when you have the new version ready, not get rid of it and then give the new one. But that's the one I would want to have. I wish I had back because it really, I didn't have to carry my stupid key rings around anymore. It just made it convenient. And the thing is, that was my excuse to show off when I'm at stores, the mall, at the gym. That was my way to show off my Gear S to everyone. And I miss doing that now. Blazing Geek wide bangle bands. Yes. Oh, yeah, no. If you guys are familiar with the diesel bands that they were supposed to release last year, I talked to the designer and he's going to make those. He's going to make those. So let me show you quickly what they look like. So let me Google that really quick. But the next question on top of that, do you have a PS4 or PS3? I have both. Yes, I have both systems. I like playing JRPGs. But here, let me go ahead and change my screen so you guys can go ahead and see. Hold on. There we go. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Okay. These are the bangle bands that Diesel were supposed to release, and they look really cool. I mean, I know a lot of these are women wearing them, but I feel like they're very stylish. They look very cool. I think they'll look great on both guys and girls. So, yeah, these things look awesome. I love how they actually hang over the wrist. So let me get. Oh, did I put down the wrong one? No, I didn't. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong. Hold on. There we go. Okay, you guys were all right. Sorry, I'm still getting used to my my technology here. But that I gave those designs. I showed him the designs to the designer, and he said he can make them. But the only thing is, he needs to sell to his current stock in order to be able to make any more designs. So fingers crossed, guys. Seriously, I mean, for those of you who have bought them or have supported the bands, thank you. It's definitely going to do well. No, well, it better do well because I really want to see these bangle bands come out because I would personally want to buy the white, black, and red one myself. So, fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully, they'll be out. Assam Alansari. Well, you are awesome. Keep doing it. Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thanks for that comment. Drunken Jay, do you think smartwatches are the thing now? Well, before I answer that, if you guys can actually now just stop the questions, I'm gonna finish answering the current ones and go back to the Samsung question, and then I'm out of time right now too. So, but just let me see here. But I think they're not a thing, but they are a nice companion because I'll put it this way: they're not a necessity like the smartphone is. I mean, even the smartphone is not a necessity, but actually, you know what? I think it is a thing now because I don't know. I can't really explain it because you have to be a smartwatch owner to really experience it and to be really able to talk about it. Let's not talk about the models and the brand, just smartwatches in general. I believe it's not a solution to a problem that never existed. It's a convenience that's never existed for smartphones. And to be honest, I'm glad I have it just because now I'm not really distracted throughout my day. Like I can actually work. I can work. Like I'm not like every so often picking up my phone, checking the text, reading it, and then and then I'm on Facebook and reading. No, now it's just like I'm typing away, I'm working on something, I look at my wrist and keep on going. And I maybe pick up my phone a handful of times instead of hundreds of times a day. And yes, folks, it can become hundreds of interaction times a day on your phone. And just the convenience that it brings. It's not a replacement, but the convenience that it adds. I'll put it this way. If you were to take it away from me, I would definitely feel it. So there's that. TRG1408, can we be friends on PS4? Can we be friends on PS4? Yes. Once again, my gamer tag is... Of course we can. Sorry. Of course we can. Once again, my gamer tag is Wanger375, WANGER375. Go ahead and send me a request. When I get a chance to hop on, games have been taking a backseat lately, but when I do hop on, I'll be more than happy to accept it. What was your first phone you absolutely loved? It was my push-up Samsung phone. It was not the flip one, but the first one where it was a screen and you had to push up to bring the keys. That was my favorite one. I absolutely love that thing because to me, that was the greatest thing. I was showing off to all my friends when I had it. So that was my favorite one. And thanks for answering questions. You're such a great YouTuber. You just thank you so much. I appreciate that. Leonard Holly, have you heard about the Jibo? Yes, Jibo. I actually was at a tech conference for my job, and I met the developer of the Jibo, so I'm very excited for it because I love that. That's very cool. Drunken Jay, are you psyched about Final Fantasy 15? I'm waiting for release for 15 before I buy the PS4. Yes, I am excited for 15 because I've been waiting for a decent Final Fantasy for several years now. I'm also excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I was actually one of the people freaking out at the press conference when that came out. If you find me a reaction of me freaking out to Kingdom Hearts 3, you guys would probably view me very differently right now. Danny Bastings, I use UE4 from architectural visualizations. I would like to get into VR to wow my clients. That's how I found your channel. Thoughts on the Rift and the Gear VR for the UE4? Can you quickly just comment what the UE4 is? I'm not familiar with that. I'm not at least the acronym. But virtual reality though, I mean, I'll put it this way: I work for a mutual fund company, and I sold two of my VPs and the technology department head and the CEO of the company. I work for Vanguard, by the way, if you guys wanted to know. So these guys who are very conservative, I can't talk about it too much, but I pretty much I showed it off to them, and they're like, "This is awesome!" I made them excited for it, and then when they asked me, "Well, Oh, sorry, Unreal? Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought. I thought you were saying that. Unreal Engine. Okay. I mean, I'll put it this way. They were just like, well, what's a business case for it? I'm like, well, you guys have been expanding and building new buildings, right? Well, you can go ahead and conceptualize the building in a virtual environment and actually look at it, walk through it, see what you need, what works and what doesn't work. On top of that, future clients, there's a reason why Facebook bought out Oculus. It's because a lot of these future kids and tweenies are gonna be they're gonna be plugged in to the virtual environment, into their games. Like Minecraft, people might be playing Minecraft in virtual reality now. Who knows what it is gonna be? But yeah, definitely though, Unreal 4 with the VR. I mean, right now everyone's just using Unity, but if you can make UE4 work with the virtual reality, the coding, then by all means go for it, because it'll be definitely a big wow factor. Yeah. I've been an Android user my whole life, never had any other product besides MacBook. I see everyone switching to Apple. Maybe people around you, but not everyone's switching. Don't worry, dude. I want you to be popular YouTuber. I try to share your videos, but all my friends are Apple users, but I will keep trying. Well, no, thank you. I mean, well, the thing is, I do my best to make a variety of videos. I mean, I don't have any Apple products per se. And I'll put it this way: I'm probably not gonna win over any Apple users, and I do my best to try to keep an unbiased opinion on it. I'm just pissed off at Apple. I mean, I used to be a diehard fan. I'm just not happy that they're not innovative anymore. They're just starting to become the luxury brand to have, and I'm really unhappy about that. That's my only major thing. But hey, your friends can enjoy my virtual reality videos and stuff. Why not? Marco Romero, hey man, just wanted to say thanks for all the info You are. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I say, oh, folks, once again, stop with the questions. I need to answer one major one before I close out. So, not that I don't want to answer and keep having this conversation, but I do have to end it. I do have a schedule. I have to get up early tomorrow, so I wouldn't mind doing this all night. Maybe I might do another 6-hour live stream event for you guys one day. So, be on the lookout for that. Marco Romero, is there a way you can buy movies through VR? Not yet. Samsung is experimenting with the Milk VR app right now. That might be the catalyst for what you're talking about, but they're definitely working on it. Drunken Jay, since Apple is making VR headsets as well, what are your thoughts on it? Well, it's about damn time. They're just, once again, what was the other guy's name? Yahtzee. Once again, the thing you can tell your friends, and it's a damn good point, they're not pushing forward with any of the technologies anymore. They're not. Smartwatches, Samsung and Pebble were first. VR, Oculus, and Samsung were first. And Google was ahead of them too. They're becoming the followers at this point. Unfortunately, everyone will view them as the innovators and the ones pushing them forward. But the people who are actually the other 2/3, the other half the market, they're smart to realize they're the ones coming in afterwards. And they're the ones copying everyone else now. So that's one thing you can try and get. And if they don't believe you, then I'm sorry, they're idiots. The dates and the facts don't lie. So I'll put it, yeah. Let me see here. Burker to love. Well, welcome, dude. Yeah, good morning. Do you have experience on PC accessories or only mobiles? Yeah, I mean, I actually started off PCs. Like my VR unit, it was an Oculus Rift DK1, which is for the PC. So that's where I started off on. So I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert by all means in anything. But I have experiences all around consoles, PCs, mobile. I've done almost everything at this point. Danny Basings, thanks for keeping your process and your time to comment your questions. Keep it up. All right. Well, Drunken Jay, before you go, let me go ahead and answer your question about why. And I think a lot of you are actually wondering why Samsung hasn't sold as many S6s as they would have hoped or estimated. So let me go ahead and give you that. For those of you who listen to the beginning of the podcast, you guys can probably go ahead and go because you've already heard the answer. But I'm just going to repeat it. And that is, you got to look at the market in general. And let me just give you a quick rundown. Out of 100 million people, let's just say 100 million people, which are all smartphone users, they're not, like, when you get a phone, almost all the vast majority of the people are not buying them at retail. They are not. They are most likely contracting it, whether it's the 2-year contract or this bull crap BS next plan from AT&T or Verizon, which is a monthly plan for 2 years anyway. So it's still a 2-year contract per se, but they're still financing out and contracting for 2 years to be able to afford the device normally. Now, those people, which is almost, in my mind, 99% of the market, they're not changing their phone every single year. They are changing their phone biannually. So not biannually, every 2 years. That's what I meant. They're changing their phone every 2 years. So you got to keep that in mind. Like I'm just trying to paint you the picture right now, paint you the story. Yes, there's going to be people out there who upgrade their phone every single year by paying retail. Those are the people with money, or they just don't know how to manage their money. I'm not talking about those. Those are that's the minority of the market. But the vast majority upgrade their phones every 2 years. Now, why does Apple sell so many? Let's look at this. First of all, they've had several years of new people. So the first batch of people who got the iPhone were locked in for 2 years. Then the next fresh people who are like, all right, we've paid off our phones. Let's get the new piece. Let's get the new iPhone as our next 2-year contract. So they came on. So that's why they all of a sudden they went from 1 million to 2 million customers, and so forth. As people were getting off their contracts, more and more people were hopping over to the iPhone. They're contracting the iPhone. And then when the new model came out, the people from 2 years back were now upgrading to the new model. So as each model came out, obviously the customer pool will grow and grow and grow. So keep that in mind. It's not that, oh, it's a new innovative product, so everyone's buying it brand new. No. I mean, yes, you're getting a good chunk of people buying it brand new who are coming to the phone market for the first time. And then you got the vast majority of people who have been in the phone market and are just coming into the upgrade cycle. So once again, keep that picture in mind. Now with Samsung, so this is how much pretty much it works. Now with Samsung, they've been in the market longer than Apple. But Apple had the initial wow factor, hence why they sold a hell of a lot more phones, and they still do to this day because they've had that leapfrog track record up till now with the growth. Now with Samsung, my thing with them is Apple right now holds 50% of the market. Samsung does not hold 50% of the market. They own a part of the existing Android market. So it's not like they're working with 500 million people. They're not. They're working. And the thing is, with their flagship phones too, remember, they offer a variety of phones. They may have the same amount of customers as Apple does, but they're catering to not just the high end, but to the low end of the totem pole as well. But if you look at their figures, pretty much the people buying the S6 right now are the people coming out of their contracts. The majority of them. So it's people who are S4 owners and stuff. And if you look at the S4 numbers to the S6, they're quite comparable actually. And it makes sense. They're coming around the same time of the same time period. But another issue that Samsung has, and this is my gripe with them, is they're releasing their flagship phones at a horrible time, in my opinion. Because if you really think about it, when do most families and people get a new phone? And that is around the holiday season, which is in the fall. And Samsung is coming out in the middle of spring. Yes, people are coming out of their contracts and they're doing that. But most people are getting new phones during the fall. Hell, I got my family all S5s last year during the Black Friday sales. So during the fall. Most people were getting their iPhones for Christmas gifts during the fall and the holiday season. And this is why Apple is winning, in my opinion. Because they announced their new phone early fall. And they're going to have strong sales, and they have continuous strong sales throughout the next few months because it's the fall season. This is when everyone's buying crap. Everyone's not spending stuff in the middle of the year. They're not. So you got to look at it that that way too. I believe Samsung will sell more as the months will go on. I actually think they might sell more Note 5s. Hopefully, if they release the product, right? I think Samsung will sell more Note 5s than the S6 for the sheer fact it's going to have that wow factor. They're going to have the Gear A and hopefully the next version of the Gear S, and it's going to be right in time for the holiday season. And they should be bringing out the next rendition of the Gear VR, so they're going to have a solid, strong sales, I believe, at the end of the year. But that's what you got to be looking at. Like they just have a bad setup for their flagship device. They just really do. Because I personally think if they would have started selling their flagship phones in the fall, either right before or right after Apple releases theirs, I think they'd be definitely doing better. So that's the thing. So when they're like, oh, 10 million units compared to Apple's 30 million, it's not comparing apples to apples because it's really not. I mean, I can say that the 10 million that Samsung sold in day one is quite comparable to the 30 million because of the market ownership proportion. Yeah. I mean, I hope one day that they do well, but I mean, but we'll see. But the thing is, it's not like I'm one man. I can't educate the market on value versus like what phone offers you more. I mean, because I know too that the operating system offers something differently as well too. I'm not denying that. But sorry, that's going off topic. But I hope that clarifies things. Like, I know that's a bit confusing, but that's the way the current smartphone market works. And in my opinion right now, it's pretty saturated. So the numbers are pretty set on how many people are there. I mean, yes, it's going to keep growing, but the solid 10 million sales, 30 million sales right off the bat, that's pretty much the number you need to work with. So there's that. So, I mean, if you have any more questions on that, please feel free to go ahead and email me. And I'll be more than happy to maybe I'll make a video on that. I think that's probably a video worthy topic. So I'll definitely do that. So I hope that answered your question a little bit. So there's that. So guys, let me see here. Let me look at the last few questions really quick. Let me see here. Marco Romeo, yes, I believe. No. I believe this Note 4 is the best phone out there. That's my personal opinion. If the Note 5... Yeah, no, that's the same way. If they don't... That I am on the same boat. If Samsung continued this trend of getting rid of what made their devices good, I'm also going to be jumping ship. Because I'm personally digging the LG G Flex 2, the new G4, maybe the H8 too. I might just go on to other devices and try them out, because that's how Apple lost me. If they start being complacent and not innovating, I'm moving on. So we'll see what they do. All right, guys, but I am literally burned out. That's almost 2.5 hours of talking nonstop, and it's currently midnight where I am, and I need to get up early in the morning. So I need to end the podcast here, guys. So not to ignore any of you who have asked questions now, but you guys definitely hit me up on the next one. I'll be doing another one 2 weeks from now, so don't worry. Same time. But thank you, seriously, to every single one of you who came. To came to this podcast. Thank you so much. Once again, I do this every 2 weeks, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today I went a little over schedule, but that's what I plan on doing every single week, every 2 weeks. So there's that. And Burger to Love, yes, I'll go ahead and update my Facebook page. I know I've been behind on my social media, but I'll definitely be getting back on it this week. So I'll be getting caught up. So thanks, guys. Thank you, every single one of you tuned in. For those of you who are listening on the audio cast, thank you. If you've actually listened to this point, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and everything. But guys, have a good night, good day, good morning, whenever you're listening to this. And hopefully I'll see you guys at the next podcast in 2 weeks. Take care, guys.